gives us so much more than what we deserve. Remember that you are called to worship God with every action in every day of your life. So think back during this week, starting school. Everything we say would be pleasing to God if he was sitting next to us at our lunch table. We need to be reminded of that. The next thing we have on here is learn. Okay, you're going to get Mary Keith's 1 minute sermon about learning. If you're not daily doing something to further your walk, your journey on being a Christian, I would like to encourage you to do that. And notice I said learn. I didn't say read the Bible and study it cover to cover, word for word, because let's just face it, most of us in here probably won't do that. But we are in a day and age, there's so many things at our fingertips that could be helping us in our walk. There's just so many. If you're not a reader, there are documentaries that you can pick up. The Bible is actually on CDs. There are movies that you could watch. I personally have a radio broadcast that I listen to every day on the internet at my convenience. It's 20 minutes. There are so many things we could be doing daily so that we could learn more about becoming a Christian. If you are readers, God gave gifts to wonderful people who aren't me on how to write and how to study and how to research. They are so gifted, they put it in a book and wrote it for us to use. Please, why don't we take advantage of that? So, that was my mini sermon for the day, that we need to daily be getting into the Word, or at least learning about being a better Christian. All right, the next one on here is give, and you leave me speechless, because this church is phenomenal on your giving. So that's all I'm going to say. Take a look at the bulletin board out there, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And the next one on here is pray. And we know we all can do better at that. It takes discipline. It takes asking God for help, finding that time in our routine to every day be praying. Next is encourage. That radio message that I mentioned I listen to every day. Last month, he spent the whole month on encouragement. And Don and Donna are excellent encouragers. And if you think the way I used to, I thought, well, yeah, that's what they do. That's their job. They're the encourager. They know the ins and outs of the people of the congregation, and that's what they do. Well, I learned in that month that that's not just for them, that all of us need to be encouragers, because all of us have a different background, a different lesson in life that we learned. This preacher was a cancer survivor, so he was very easily an encouragement and understood and had empathy for people who were going through chemotherapy. But he had never been a single mom. But there are people in the congregation who could help that single mom more than what he could. So I'm very happy to see everything that's going on during the fellowship hour, that we're talking with each other and we're learning from each other, and that we all need to be encouragers. The next is serve, and the last is invite. And I talked a little bit about with the kids what those mean. All right, but this is the part of the program where I'm telling you that it's not always all that easy, because there's too many things in the world that give us directions, too many things in the world that influence us, that it's hard to do those 7 things listed on my cross. Now, these are going to be simple at first. Kids, I want you to tell me, what this is. Thank you, Braden. It is a stop sign. What is it telling us to do? To stop, yeah. All right, so my next one, what does this say? Only one way. That's pretty straightforward. That's right. It tells us what to do. This is something that tells us what to do. No turning what way? Okay, very good. See, now these are signs that are clear and straightforward and things that we need to follow. Those are signs, though. What about people in our lives that give us direction or to tell us what to do? Those were signs. Give me examples of people. Gavin. Parents. Excellent. But I think we can add to that. Viv. Teachers. So I've heard parents, teachers. Yes, Gavin. Grandparents. All right, yeah. Or coaches. Are any of you on a team? Coaches give us directions. people, but are there things that influence us? Tell me, does the television influence you? Does it? Do commercials influence you? That you see a pretty good cereal and everyone's happy and you think, if I eat that cereal, I'm going to be happy? Does that work? Maybe? Were you going to add something, Colin, and I interrupted you? No? Okay. All right, I have an example of worldly things that can influence us. But I want you, are you watching, guys? I want you to pay attention to the two people standing in the back after a while, and we'll figure out who they are and what that means. So I've had some middle school, high school kids help me out. So I'm going to ask Jordan, would you please come here? Stand right there. This is a magazine. Hold that, please. Point at that and say, look like this.
Look like this.
Very good. Next, I will have I'll have Colin come over here. I'm going to give you a remote control. You're going to point that at your imaginary television and say, I need to buy that.
I need to buy that.
Louder.
I need to buy
Very good. All right, now I need Lynn and Corey, please. Lynn, you're going to stand next to Colin and you're going to say, not good enough.
Not good enough.
You are going to say, practice, practice, very loud.
Practice, practice.
Yeah, did you guys hear that? That's what I'm expecting. Okay. All right, Cameron, I would like you to come. My phone. He is talking with a peer, asking him to do something that may be a little questionable, and you are going to say, do what? Dude, I guess so. Okay? Here's that. Can you do it?
Do what? Dude, I guess so.
Very good. All right, but we're going to do this loud, and we're going to start from the beginning, and you're going to speak over each other. Maybe even see who can be the loudest. Jordan, get started.
Look like this. Look like this. Look like this. Look like this.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
Practice, practice.
Not good enough. Practice, practice. Practice, practice. Practice, practice. Not good enough. Practice, practice. Practice, practice. Practice. Practice, practice. Practice, practice. Not good enough. Practice, practice. Practice, practice. Dude, what? Practice, practice. Dude, what? I got it.
I'm winning.
I'm waiting.
I'm winning.
We are so busy in our lives, thinking and doing all these things that the world tells us what is important, when all the while,
I'm waiting.
And I'm still winning.
yeah, thank you guys. That could be our sermon for the day, couldn't it? Yeah, we're too busy listening to all the other voices in the world, when all the while, Jesus is waiting for us to make the right choices. Okay, did you guys get that? Did you see the man with the dark glasses? Who do we think that was? Yeah, the devil pointed. Yeah. Well, Gavin said it. You just couldn't hear it. Yeah, the devil. And then did we figure out who Pastor Don is? Who's waiting for us to do the right thing? Colin. Jesus. Yeah. Yes, a very effective message for that. Okay. It represents in our own lives, along with the end result of what happens when we are influenced by people or things. So, who gives you direction? Do they lead you in the right direction? It is difficult to follow those 7 directives because the world is screaming at us and telling us what's important. But we need to keep focused on that cross in those 7 areas. Okay, and there are members of this congregation who have been walking that talk, and you are faith-walking, faith-talking people for a very long time, because once we are a child of God, we are always a child of God, and we're all in this together. Because we're all in this together, there is a little song that will help us to remind us to be faith-walking, faith-talking people. So I asked our choir if you would come join us on the stage up here, right?